Yeah. Your favorite color is blue? Wesley, what's your favorite color? Green? Quinn, what's your favorite color?
I still don't work, and I bought new batteries, and
What's your favorite
so
color?
I just
Stand up and show.
I just switched
Stand
them.
up and show. What's your favorite color?
Oh.
Is it pink?
Who's got a rainbow on?
Wireless mouse. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. All right, we ready to start the project?
Yeah.
You got your different colors of paper, right?
Yeah.
I'm using index cards because I don't have colored paper. So, here's the trick. You can choose to either cut it, or you can take it and rip it into as many pieces as you like. And when you're done ripping, we're going to glue it all over the piece of paper and see what it comes out to be like. It's called abstract art.
Okay. So just cut them all up in different pieces.
Yep, different sizes. You can cut them up in different shapes.
I think ripping will be easier.
Yeah, it's more fun to rip it.
Keep ripping, rip it all, make them all get weird shapes. Oh, rip them.
So I just ripped up some blue. Now I'm going to do some pink. Morning, Austin. Do you have some colored paper?
Hi, Austin.
All right, if you have colored paper, what I want you to do is rip it up into as many pieces in different shapes as you'd like.
Green. Okay.
Green.
Rip it up.
Good ripping. Any you'd like. Little pieces, big pieces. Yeah, I love it. That's a lot. Now you can start putting the glue on and glue it down any way you would like.
All over.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to change it. The point was, do you really think it's safe for your child to come back and somebody else? So, yeah, and that's the thing. It's just the thing that concerns me is it's not just, a couple.
You guys are working hard. I love it. Quinny's coming. The videos are acting funny today. Amazing. Good job, guys.
Now just put the paper anywhere we want.
Anywhere you want. This is their special activity.
Wherever you want, all different colors. And just go floop, 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 all over.
Perfect. Now everyone's is gonna be different.
If you guys have kids, like you're gonna stay in line. You're gonna put all your pieces. It's kind of crazy. All of them, there's the floor. Just got the.
Good, good, good. Now I'm going to show you mine. What does mine look like? Does it look like a heart? A heart.
Is it supposed to be anything in
Whatever they think it is that they do is perfect.
It's a paper, but it's a glue stick. It's not.
You got this like grandma.
No way.
It's sticky. Cover up all the glue.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was saying to Mom that when the EEC said that I had to be fingerprinted too. Didn't she say something about she wanted me on the corporation?
Now you can put some on top of the
I love how hard you guys working on it.
I know. That's my problem.
The fingerprinting thing. What she had to figure out because she's a licensee. Yeah, but I have to put that. Did you fill out that paper? I think the paperwork for you and.
Why are you putting out that?
I was just thinking where's that? It's all in the paper.
Put it on the paper right now. 1, 2. All right. This one.
No, that's
More green. Yes.
Oh, well, you have another one. I guess that is yours. When did you get the paper?
Make a little dot.
That one on the USA or something. It was
There you go.
Good job.
But her name isn't on there. I don't know why.
Paper over it. I need paper.
Pull it up, so.
Oh, no. You just leave it there so it dries.
One foot down there.
Oh, right there.
Good job.
Oh, look at mine.
I love it. I love the bright colors.
Yeah.
I love it.
Look at mine.
Oh, I love the green and the blue and the orange.
So what was it? So what else does she want us to do though?
How is yours coming, Wesley?
Not here all the time. You could say, well, Anne's here.
Yeah, you do it.
Yeah, was it something about the corporation? Or?
Perfect. You got green and purple and red.
Look at mine.
June wrote her name.
Perfect, June. Oh my goodness.
That needs a little work.
Quinn, I love the colors.
You're right.
Amazing.
Can you stand there so another drop? You too.
You're right.
All right, so now I have time for a book. Would you guys like to read a book?
Next. Dash. Two. Girls. Right here.
Yes, please.
Okay. So this book, who knows about Little Red Riding Hood? Everybody? All right, ready? So this is about Little Red Riding Hood. Let's see what adventures she goes on. Once upon a time, a loving family. Oh, hold on. Oh no. There we go. Once upon a time, a loving family lived in a cozy house in the woods. There was a father and a mother and their only child, a bright and happy little girl. So that's their house. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. The child was called... What was the girl's name? Little Red Riding Hood. Because everywhere she went, she wore a red velvet hood and cape. This hood and cape had been made by the girl's grandmother, whom Little Red Riding Hood loved very much. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother told her that grandmother was in bed with a cold. She handed a red basket full of goodies and asked her to take the treats to her grandmother. Little Red Riding Hood was very happy to visit her grandmother, who lived deep in the forest at the end of the trail. So there's Little Red Riding Hood, and there's her mom giving her the basket with the treats to bring to Grandma. Now, remember, her mother said, as she straightened her daughter's little red hood, stay on the path and don't stray off the woods, and whatever you do, don't talk to strangers. Red kissed her mother on the cheek and promised to be very careful. Little Red Riding Hood skipped happily down the path to Grandmother's house. It was a warm and sunny day, and though her grandma was sick, Red was sure the basket full of soup, bread, and fresh fruit would make the old woman feel much better. Now, do you think she's going to listen to her mom and not go off the path or talk to strangers? You don't think she's going to listen? We'll see. As she went along the path, Little Red Riding Hood came across the old woodsman. He was happy to see his friend Little Red, and greeted her with a cheerful hello and asked her where she was off to. Little Red Riding Hood told the woodsman about her sick grandmother and the goodies she was taking to her. You be careful, Red, said the old man. I just saw a wolf down the trail. Make sure you stay away from him. Little Red Riding Hood nodded her head. If I see him, I'll be careful, she told the woodsman. Goodbye, and continued on her way. The woodsman watched as she went down the path and continued his work among the trees. So was the woodsman a stranger? No, because the woodsman knows Little Red. So he wasn't a stranger. So she was okay when she talked to him, right? Yeah.
He fights wolf.
He maybe, we'll see. Every story's different. Off in the forest, the big bad wolf wandered, looking for something to eat. He had seen a woodsman earlier that day, but was careful to stay away from him. Hungry as he was, the wolf knew better than to mess with him. As he roamed with his stomach growling, the wolf suddenly heard footsteps on the path. He looked out behind a tree and saw Little Red Riding Hood. Aha! He said to himself, that child will fill my belly nicely. Uh-oh. As Little Red Riding Hood approached, the big bad wolf popped out from the trees and stood in the middle of the trail. He was so hungry that he wanted to eat Red right then and there, but he was worried the woodsman might come along and catch him. He bowed low and smiled at Little Red Riding Hood and said, Hello there, little one. Nice day, isn't it? Do you see him? There he is.
Bobby Big.
He is. He's wearing clothes. It's a silly book. Little Red Riding Hood was a very smart child, and she was determined not to fall for any tricks. She looked in the wolf's eye and said, "I do not talk to strangers." The wolf smiled wider. "Why, dear child, don't you know who I am?" Red nodded her head. "Oh, I know you all right. You're the big bad wolf." "That's right," replied the wolf. "You see, I'm not a stranger after all." What is a stranger?
I don't know.
Someone that you don't know and that you've never seen before. So she's never seen the big bad wolf before. So does that mean he's a stranger?
Yeah.
Yes. "So where are you headed off to, my little friend?" asked the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood explained that she was off to see her grandmother who wasn't feeling well. The wolf offered to walk with her, but Red shook her head. "No, thank you. I can make it on my own. Besides," she said with a suspicion, "I've been warned about you." "Is that so?" the wolf asked. "Then please, don't let me keep you any longer." He stood aside and let Red pass. So there he is. You see him right there? He stood aside to let her pass. And then where does he go?
Go and follow her.
He follows her. The sneaky wolf watched Red walk down the path and out of sight. Being familiar with the woods, he knew of a shortcut that would allow him to reach Grandmother's house before Red. He ran as fast as he could through the trees. Soon, the big bad wolf stood at Grandma's door. The wolf knocked softly on the door. From within the cottage, he heard in a shrill voice, "Who is it?" The wolf answered in a gentle voice, "It's me, Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, come in, dear," Grandma answered. The big bad wolf had opened the door and went inside. Oh, what does he do? June, what does he do when he goes inside? He puts on Grandma's clothes.
Yeah.
Grandma let out a gasp when she saw the wolf. "Surprise, Granny," said the wolf. As he neared Grandma's bed, she tried to shout as he got closer, but was so scared no sound came out. "Come on now, into the closet with you," growled the wolf as he forced Grandma out of bed and pushed her into the closet. After locking Grandma in the closet, the wolf put on her bathrobe and nightcap. He climbed into bed and pulled back the covers. There he waited for Little Red Riding Hood to arrive. There he is, all dressed up like Grandma. Oh, goodness. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived at Grandma's house, she knocked on the door. A low, scratchy voice came from within. "Come in, dear child." "My grandma sounds very sick," Red said to herself as she opened the door and went inside. Little Red Riding Hood stood at her grandmother's bed, looking down at her. How strange and different Grandma seemed. Red pointed at the big feet that stuck out from underneath the bed. "Oh, Granny, did you get new slippers?" The wolf smiled and said in a high-pitched voice, "Oh, why, yes, new slippers. Do you like them?" Red laughed. "They certainly are big." You see? Oh, goodness. Something about Grandma didn't seem quite right to Red. Grandma looked so odd, and even with the cold, her voice sounded too low and gruff. Red looked a little closer. "You know, Grandma," she said with surprise, "I've never noticed before what am I pointing to? Eyes you have." The wolf chuckled a little and answered, "Why, my dear child, all better to see you with." Red looked a little bit more closely at Grandma as she lay in the bed. "And Grandma, I've never noticed before. What big hands you have." The wolf replied pleasantly, "Why, my dear, all the better to hug you with." Red, who was starting to feel a little nervous, leaned closer to Grandma to get a better look. What is she going to say next? About what? So we did the eyes, the hands. What else does the wolf have that the Grandma doesn't? What kind of teeth? Big teeth. "Why, Grandma, I've never noticed what big teeth you have." The wolf sneered at Red and said, "All the better to eat you with." And with that, he threw the bed covers aside. Little Red Riding Hood let out a cry when she saw the wolf revealed. He moved slowly towards her, closer and closer, until Red was up against a wall with nowhere to run. "Oh, you'll be a fine meal for me," said the wolf, with a hungry grin as he reached out with his big paws to grab her. "Oh no! Now who comes to save the day?" "The woodsman!" Red was sure that it was all over when suddenly there was a loud bang as the door came crashing open. "It was the woodsman!" "Aha! I thought you might be up to mischief, you rascal," the woodsman said as Red ran over to his side. The big bad wolf held up his paws and cried, I'm sorry, please have mercy," as he backed fearfully away from the woodsman. The woodsman pointed a finger at the wolf. "Get out of here, you no-good beast, and don't let me catch you in these woods again." He gave the wolf an angry stare. "Or else." The wolf ran out the door and scurried down the path. After the wolf was out of sight, the woodsman turned to Red and asked if she was okay. Before she could answer, a shy voice came from the closet. "Can I come out now?" "Who's asking to come out of the closet?" Grandma. The woodsman opened the closet door and helped Grandma back to bed. The old woman was shaken, but none the worse for wear. Her eyes lit up when she saw the basket of goodies Red had brought. They all enjoyed a very pleasant visit that day, sharing the treats and giving thanks. Everything had turned out well for Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood, and the wolf was never seen or heard from again.
But the wolf.
The wolf ran away. The woodsman chased him out of town. Did you like that book?
Yeah.
I did too. That teaches you a lot. It teaches you to listen to mommies and daddies. Excuse me. Listen to mummies and daddies, and when they tell you not to talk to strangers, does that mean you go and talk to strangers?
No.
No, strangers are not kind people. Strangers can be very mean, so that's why you need to listen when teachers and mummies and daddies tell you about strangers. It's very, very important.
Can I eat now?
Yes.
But
Alrighty. Well, that is the end of today. Tomorrow, you will need pencils and some lined paper because we're going to practice writing our letters. The letters we're going to be doing tomorrow is A and B.
Nicole,
Yes.
Quinn wants to show you a bunk that she made.
Okay, you can show me.
A trainer room.
Okay.
I'm gonna show all of your class, and it's pretty.
Okay. They'd like that.
So this is Quinn's room right here. This is where it is. So it's right here.
That is amazing, Quinny.
You can see. And there's also.
Look, she made a fort, you guys.
There's Quinn also a puppy that he decided to put under the bed that I sleep on, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
My bed's right up there.
That's pretty cool. That's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing you guys can do while you're home, is make forts out of chairs and beds. I used to do that when I was little.
Yeah.
So anyway, for tomorrow, we're listening. I'm talking. You guys should be quiet. For tomorrow, I need you guys to have pencil and some lined paper so we can practice the letters A and B. Okay?
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
Because it's almost great. I'm going to put some light down on it.
All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Try and get outside if it's not too cold.
That's the pillow right there.
Perfect.
I quit. Or I.
And you can see the puppy.
Bye, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
It has the light tomorrow. I didn't see it.
Bye-bye, Austin. Bye, Wesley.
Bye.
Bye.